We had a plan that we had started implementing. There are things that we could do within our control. But the biggest issue that we kept on realizing that we can't run away from was our liquidity and our going concern. While we engage in the shareholder indicates to us that government operates within a plan, and therefore your requirement of an equity and a guarantee would have to go through a process in government. So, and we acknowledged that. But unfortunately, while we are doing that, some of our fleet was already giving us signs that we would have challenges going forward if we don't arrest the money issues quickly. So we took a decision that of the fleet of the 22 aircraft that we have, which ones we believe that they are unsafe for flying. And we identified, there were already by then 7 aircraft that we put on the ground. And of that 7, 2 already we identified that they are beyond economic repair. So in our plans, we were not even going to return them to service. So we implement then the 80-10-10 maintenance philosophy. But with that, we also realized that we needed to attack 3 areas. We need aircraft that is available at all times to meet our schedule. But that aircraft must also be reliable, because when the aircraft is reliable, it helps us improve on our on-time performance. When we are on time, we reduce and minimize the inconvenience to the passengers, and then we begin to claw back into the market better and even win back those customers that we had lost. So that was the plan that we were implementing. But with that plan, we said then we'll go on a reduced schedule. So we operated on a 14+1 aircraft schedule. Then on a good, beautiful morning, Friday morning, we're having a board meeting. And while we were in a board meeting, the communication guys and the technical guys, they bring a matter to my attention that we just had an incident with one of our aircraft that was from East London to OR Tambo, and the pilot had to do an air turn back. Immediately then, I asked the board, we suspended the board meeting so that we can get to understand what is this. Because already also we were understanding that there were already social media that was buzzing about this. Immediately we say we needed to identify what the issue is, and so that we can be able even to communicate ourselves on the incident. We called the communications teams in together with the technical teams. We get a briefing, the chairperson of the board and the chairperson of the audit and risk. We prepare a statement that what we issued out. That Friday evening, I called a meeting with all the technical team, the general manager, operations, commercial, basically all the exco. And I said to them, let's go through this incident. The pilot who was on duty indicates that yes, we do have between 24 hours and 48 hours to report this incident. Then we all agreed, colleagues, we are here, let's do the report so that we can all go to the weekend even without this report. Let's just do it. We sit, we go through the IQMS, we do the report, we submit the report to the CEC the same evening at 8 in the evening. At the same time, I put the team together to fly the following morning to East London to go and do an inspection the aircraft to make sure that it is sealed, protected, while we are engaging as well with the engine manufacturer to also send a team to have a look. 2 days later, the boroscope report comes. It indicates that yes, there was an engine failure, but this was not really a maintenance issue. It was an equipment failure, which the manufacturer indicated that they will look at it. We knew there and then that we needed to inform the CAA, which we did. The matter was reported, as I indicated. But also we knew that in light of other audits that have been performed and that we have been having challenges to close on previously, that we have indeed attracted the eye of the regulator. And so when I received a letter on a Sunday evening by the CAA saying we are going to be doing an audit, I cannot say I was surprised. And I said to the team, let's do everything to make sure that we cooperate with the regulator, but also we indicate the plans that we had already put in place to try to address those outstanding findings. The Monday morning, we have a meeting with the CAA, and we walk into a meeting where we have 16 people from the regulator, and it can tell you the magnitude of the seriousness as well of the incident, and also how they wanted to look at our audits. But fortunate enough, we had already, because as I said earlier, we've been talking to the shareholder, the minister felt that he needed to strengthen my arm to assist me to identify and deal with all these challenges in the company. So minister put an intervention team together, which comprised of senior and seasoned individuals. And the reason for this was, and I needed to address this also with the staff, because inevitably you'd know that when you send people from the department, in the organization, it can be misinterpreted to mean different things. I'm seconded from DPE, and already there were two other officials. One was in the technical, and the other one was in the GM, in the office of the CEO. So already minister strengthening the team could mean that lack of confidence in the organization, maybe. What does that mean? So I needed to address that to the team to say, it shows, it signals really shareholder intent to make sure that we are supported across the organization. And also because at that point, the majority of the, actually EXCO was depleted, and it still is depleted. 11 of the 13 positions were occupied by people who were acting. So there was a lot of work that we needed in terms of filling vacancies in the organization. So we started engaging with the CAA. They did their audit, and 2 days into the audit, in the evening, they called me in, and they indicated that things don't look too good. But they gave us an opportunity that evening as well to try to correct. The unfortunate part was we could already see that the kind of corrective action plan that we needed to put would require a little bit of time. And that was a Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning at 11, we received a call that we needed to make an appearance, the regulator. And first thing, I prompted, is this in relation to the audit? The answer was yes. Who should I bring from my team? And it was indicated that bring your head of quality, safety, but also your head of communications. So there and then I could tell as well that the outcome may not be good. But still, as we were going there, we were hoping that it will be something that we could mitigate within a short space of time. Now, as they say, the rest is history. That day, we were informed that the airline would be grounded for 30 days. But I think what really put a shock to us through the entire organization is that it was not only a suspension of our AOC, which relates to that you can fly and still operate your aircraft, but it was also the suspension of our aircraft maintenance organization certificate, which meant that none of our technical guys can touch any of our aircraft. Also, what compounded the situation was there was also the suspension of the certificate of airworthiness on the aircraft. So meaning we really have to work hard to satisfy the 30 days so that we go back to the CAA on 3 levels. It's the AMO, which is maintenance related, the AOC, which is operations related, and a certificate of airworthiness, which is aircraft related. Those 2 days, I think it was the most difficult days in the history of this airline. 24 years, the airline had not been grounded to that extent. May 2016, there was a grounding, albeit short one of 2 days over the weekend. And also it related in the main to documentation and responses. But this one, it sent shock waves through the entire organization. We initiated and activated the crisis management center and the information sharing center as well. What consumed me in the main for those 2 days first was our customers, our stakeholders, most importantly even the employees, because I needed the employees to implement this crisis management and start engaging customers. So their frame of mind was also paramount to me. How are they going to take the news? What does this mean? So also engaging immediately, sending communication out to the staff was very important. We did that, and we engaged the customers. We solicited the assistance of SAA, and we started rerouting passengers where we were not able to do that. We engaged our hotels. We placed customers in hotels. So the period between the 24th, the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th was just really to deal with ensuring that we keep the customers happy. Because one of the conditions also that came with the suspension of the grounding was that we cannot even trade, so we had to close the inventory. Having dusted ourselves, having set those centers in place, we needed now to get quickly to the next phase. The next phase was, let's look at the findings. We have 17 findings against us. 5 are level 1, which are serious findings, and 12 are level 2. Of the 5 that are level 1, 4 are matters that are purely within our control as an airline. So I said to the team, we need to concentrate on those 4. So we split ourselves into teams to start addressing the corrective action plans, looking at the root causes, but also avoiding to make the mistake that we made in the past, where we just responded without detail to the CAA, without giving them confidence that if we are given an opportunity to come back and our licenses, the suspensions, and they are lifted or the licenses are reinstated, what is it that we're going to do differently? So this time we approach it totally different. A paradigm shift that said, we wanted to work with the regulator. We're not going to wait too many days. So as we are engaging, this morning we had a training for all senior managers, which I also attended, on the safety management system. And actually attending that training subsequent to the grounding, I looked across the room. I was looking at the body language of people. I have never seen people paying attention and participating like that. Even identifying matters that they have never been raised as hazards. This case, they were raising them as hazard. So for me, the grounding is bad news, but also an opportunity to reflect and make sure that probably things that we took for granted, the blind spots that we have, how do we make sure that going forward we don't repeat the mistakes? I left straight to the training. I met with the CAA this morning. They are sitting with the team across the room. They are going through the corrective actions, because we said we're giving ourselves 10 days to have all the corrective action plans in place. We have split the 30 days in a number of milestones. So we have these 10 days that we have prepared the corrective action, the first draft. We said that then the next 5 days is that interaction, robust interaction with the CAA, so that they can give us feedback and then we can fix. The next 15 days is how do we come back? Because we are going to come back. We do want to come back. We believe there's value in us coming back. Yes, it's going to be difficult because in the 30 days, we have lost passengers. And remember, when you are grounded for safety reasons, even if you are airborne again, people would still say, can they be trusted? So we are not oblivious to the task ahead in terms of what we're going to do. But we believe that our corrective action plans, coupled with the plan that we had initially put on place, would help us. The 5th finding on level 1 talks mainly to the going concern issues and the liquidity position. We are engaging again with the shareholder on that, and we getting positive feedback and signals that the shareholder also appreciates that our coming back would require assistance and a number of resources from government. But we believe that we are ready, and we will come back. We will use the next 15 days as well to go back into our hangars, to look at our facilities and to make sure that how we embed safety management, and part of the budget that we're even working on, because we had to revise our figures based now on as a subsequent of the grounding, to say part of that must go into embedding safety management as part of the ongoing process, including systems that we would use to make sure that we've got alerts and prompts insofar as safety is concerned. So what is the message then to our stakeholders, all of them, both local and abroad? Our passengers, we wanted to say thank you very much for the manner in which you received the grounding, and also the manner in which you acceded to our request, and also accepting our apology for not being able to stick to our commitment of ferrying you. However, what we want to say to you is that we are still committed to being an airline that has a history of safety, and an airline that takes passenger interest at the top. We are committed to ensuring that when we come back, we will not revert back, and we will never have another grounding.